State your name and where you're from.
Jacqueline Garrett, and I'm from Mississippi.
My name is Kent Garrett, and I'm from Arkansas.
All right. So tell me how y'all two met and got together.
Well, we met at a club called RJ's by the Lake, and we exchanged numbers, and we went out on our first official date at a restaurant.
I think it was a Cajun restaurant.
Cajun, right.
They had live music.
Was the place crowded?
No, not really.
Not really. Was there anything about the partner that made, or was there anything that stand out between the two? Dad, was there anything about Mom that stand out to you?
Yeah, it was her smile. She was happy all the time. I like that. Classy. That was important.
Mom, what about Dad?
Yeah.
What stood out about him?
Well, Dad, he's just his beautiful eyes. He's just, I love his eyes, and we just
Can't
had a
miss
nice.
him.
And he also had a beautiful
You should
smile.
What was your first impression of him?
Oh, he's nice.
Smooth. Smart.
We haven't gotten to that yet.
Dad asking question, answering his own question.
No, he want me to say.
Dad, what was your first impression about Mom?
She had a nice shape.
Beautiful.
That's the first thing I saw. And then she was pretty. That was nice. And,
Beautiful black hair. Long black hair.
yeah.
When you think back to the time you started going out, what do you remember?
Just how much fun she was to be around, outgoing.
Same with Dad. We just connected. We love and doing the same thing. We just love smiling, and we just enjoyed each other.
Love smiling.
Yeah. Love having fun.
What stood out? From
What
the
stood
time?
out
Yeah,
is-
yeah.
was that he was just like a big kid, and that was stood out because we was able just to connect because he knew how to
Make you
enjoy,
laugh.
make me laugh, enjoy life, didn't take everything serious.
What were some of the highlights of y'all relationship from the beginning?
I don't know. Some of the highlights, I mean, we had a lot of them.
It was so long ago, huh?
Yes, 20 years. So what I can remember, some of the highlights is just, when we first started dating, our first dance, when he first proposed to me, and our wedding.
When did he propose to you?
Dad, he proposed to me. Oh, on New Year's Eve,
What year?
1994, January 1994.
Yeah.
Do you remember how it went? How did he propose?
Yeah.
Dad, tell me
My
how.
dad.
Dad, how did you
Say how
propose to
romantic
Mom?
he was.
Well, it just kind of, we were at a New Year's Eve bash. You know, it was kind of an after 5 thing. We had them tuxedos. She was dressed nice. And we were dancing. We were dancing and slow song, and we were just bumping and grinding. But I asked her on the dance floor because I thought about getting down on one knee. I was kind of embarrassed.
Why was you embarrassed?
Well, it was so crowded. It was a bunch of people that we didn't know. It wasn't a intimate setting.
or family saying,
Yeah, so I didn't think that maybe it was appropriate because it would have kind of threw everybody off. But it was just kind of whispered in her ear and gazed in her eyes and said, "I want you to marry me." And she said yes.
what was your reaction? Were
I
you
was
shocked,
shocked. Yeah.
nervous, didn't know what
I
to do,
didn't
speechless?
I didn't know he was gonna ask me, so I was shocked at first because I didn't know he was gonna ask me that. We never talked about it. So we never talked about getting married and he hit me with it. So it kinda shocked me and I'm like and I was in love with him. So
So
I said
after
yes.
he proposed, what did y'all do? Did y'all go out to eat? Just stayed at the party and chill?
Well, yeah, yeah, it was New Year's Eve. So we, of course, we waited for the countdown, and we celebrated a couple more hours with our friends, and closed the night out. You know,
Out of all the people in the world, what led you to decide that this was the person for you? That she was the person for you?
for me, I always thought of my wife being somebody that reminded me of my family. Somebody that came from a strong family background, same family morals that I grew up with. Respect mother and father, church, being religious, and
What about you, Mom?
Same thing what Dad said. I always wanted to marry a man. Just remind me of my dad, hardworking. I knew he was gonna be a good family man, provide for his family, just work hard. So those are qualities I was looking for before I introduced him to my dad. So I had to make sure he had all those qualities.
Was it an easy decision?
Yes.
It was an easy
It was
decision.
easy. Yeah. Dad, we got along
Clicked.
good. We connected well. We both had like same family values. His family just reminded me of my family. My family reminded him of his family. So we uh we connected.
What about you,
We
Dad? Was it easy for you
to
decide that Mom was the one? Or
yeah, I've been looking, and I wanted to settle down, and I wanted to find somebody I could spend the rest of my life with. And when we met, and we had a chance to go out a couple of times and dated for a few months, um, we actually broke up a little while. Like we stopped dating. It wasn't anything bad, but
it just kind of fell off a little bit?
it kind of fell off.
Got a little busy doing.
I was working, she was working, and we didn't see each other as much for a while. And when it came back together, I knew it was meant to be.
So y'all basically saying y'all was in love.
yes.
Yep.
Tell me about your wedding day.
Um,
What day?
that was
What
the
day
most
was it?
beautiful day. That was September 3rd, 1994. And it was beautiful. I had my white dress. The only thing was messed up was the cake. Yeah.
How it was slanted.
Yes, the lady,
She just didn't do a good job.
yeah, she didn't.
Did
So
it taste good though?
It was good.
Well, a little bit we had
Yeah,
a chance to taste.
I know because by the time we made it there to the reception hall, everybody had ate up pretty much all the food.
They didn't wait. They
Well-
didn't wait for y'all to cut the cake or nothing.
No, they
They
did,
put it on
but
cake.
we were kind of hosts, at the reception. It's like people were coming around, shaking our hand, talking to us and stuff. And by the time we got done doing all that, when
Food.
we were ready to eat, there wasn't much.
Was it a
left.
buffet
Everybody-
style or?
Yeah, they were supposed to wait on us, and we were like, didn't
It
have
was
any
hungry.
food. Yes.
Did y'all have a honeymoon?
No, we didn't have a honeymoon, so we weren't able to afford a honeymoon.
That night we did have a honeymoon. We didn't go to Hawaii, but
Travel.
we had a hotel and everything and had some champagne. It wasn't a dream honeymoon.
There you go. One of my dream honeymoon.
What is your dream honeymoon?
To go to Hawaii, Jamaica, somewhere like that.
Jamaica,
Mhm.
Bahamas, kind of.
Yes.
Tell me about the first year of your relationship.
I guess the first year is kind of hard. The first year was kind of hard because, you get married and it's kind of like our first time ever staying together. So we had to connect kind of. We thought we knew one another, but you really actually don't really know a person until you really move in with them. So we had to learn all the little bad habits from one another and all that. So that's my perspective. What's yours, Dad?
The same. We had to get used to living with each other, and
So most days y'all got annoyed.
Yes.
not most days.
Not most, yeah, not most
But
days.
just like anybody, there's little things that and may annoy you about a person, and you find out what those things are and what buttons to push, and it was just, but that's just normal, I think, in relationships.
Was there any adjustments y'all had to make in the
Yeah,
relationship?
like for me, I was used to partying and hanging out, and I had to change that because she didn't like that. I had to realize that I was married, which meant don't hang out and party with all your single buddies.
Single friends.
Yeah, because it just would lead to trouble, drinking and hanging out and stuff like that. So I had to change.
When you first found out you was having me, how did y'all transition with that?
Oh, wow. We was happy and scared at the same time.
Excited,
Excited.
anxious,
Right. What you gonna look like?
nervous.
Make sure you're gonna have all your fingers and your toes and, it was just, it was exciting. And then when you got here, which is lovely, you came out with your eyes wide open, so that kind of scared Dad. Because he thought the baby eyes were supposed to be closed, not wide open.
Was it hard?
Yes.
Raising a baby?
Yes.
Of course.
We had to sleep. You wouldn't sleep. You would cry all the time.
All the time. Just cry.
Didn't want to sleep. You had your time all mixed up.
And I think you made us start crying.
What about your other child or children?
Then we had Ken after you.
It was back to back, and that was like
Did it
kind of hard because we had like 2 babies in Pampers. So,
But was it a little easier for y'all to handle it, or was it?
we kind of knew what to expect after that.
Yeah,
So,
we was almost pros by then.
But then we had Kaya, who was a pro, right?
Raising kids.
Wait.
Many couples we've talked to say their relationship goes through ups and downs. Do you believe that? Do you say it's true or false?
I'd say it's true. Relationships, if you're in a real relationship, you're going to have the good times and the bad. You just have to learn how to deal with them. Right? At the end of the day, if you love your husband, your wife, then you work out the little details and you work through those problems, And it's just life, It's not a bowl of cherries. But at the end of the day, you're in it for the long haul, and those differences and misunderstandings can always be worked out. You just have to have faith and trust that you're making the right decisions.
Looking back, what moments stood out during your hardship together?
Well, I think what stood out is during the hardship is probably maybe kind of lack of communication a little bit. You know, where we both was kind of going the opposite way. We had to start communicating more to make sure that we work together, we communicate, that our marriage lasts a long time. So we want to have a long-lasting marriage like our parents. So we know communication is number one. So I think that was the hardest point of our marriage, is the lack of communication.
Why do you think y'all stay together? Why do you think the relationship worked? Y'all made it work, stay together.
Because of belief, love, our family, the family be torn apart, and my mom and dad been married 50-some years. His mom and dad been married over 50-some years, so we want to have that everlasting love, as we stated in our vows, until death do us apart, and we meant that, and so that's.
Want to continue the tradition, and we love each other. At the end of the day, I felt like I couldn't live my life without her.
Aww.
Same here.
I didn't want to be with someone else. I didn't want to live by myself or be by myself. And so, I fought for her. I messed up, but I didn't give up. And I think that's both of us. I think we never gave up on each other. And that was key, I think, to the strength of our relationship and why it's kind of stood the test of time.
So basically, you're trying to say that getting through these hard times, you have to stick together and never give up.
Communication is number one, and being open, as much as you can about your true feelings, and then working on those things, the things that that cause the problems. For us, it was just once we got on the same page with each other, it was easy.
Yeah.
Early in our marriage, the first year, we were just trying to connect and really, get back to what we were connected and how we were connected, and that was because of our beliefs, like she said, and our foundation, which was love and our religion, and family values.
How would you say your relationship is different from when the time you met till now? So when y'all first got together,
say that we're wiser about a lot of things. We're more mature about a lot of things in our life. We're more responsible. So I would say those things.
Changed. Yeah, I would agree. Same thing.
so when y'all first got together, was it like unsure? You was uncertain about this person, just had to grow, and now y'all like comfortable, and you just
Yeah, it was
open.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's kind of like we're on a mission, you know,
Mhm.
and we, you know, we can see the end of the road, the prize, and that's to see our kids, you know, grown and successful and you know, and pursuing their careers and stuff like that. And I think we can see that we've got one in college, another one headed to college, and one more left. So we've made some accomplishments, and you know, we're proud of them.
I agree.
So, what are your ideals on making a good relationship last or work?
Communication is key. You have to be an open book with your partner,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you have to be honest with your feelings.
And understanding.
Understanding and caring and sharing, all those things that people talk about. It's true. If you don't do that, you'll suffer. Your marriage will suffer for sure. You know?
So, why do you think some relationships work and others don't?
I think they give up too easy. I think they just give up. They think it's easier to give up than work it out. And I think some people are selfish, you know, with one another, or they don't want to give in if the other person is wrong or anything like that. So I think it's kind of,
So,
it was easy for them to get out, you know.
so it basically all ties back to communication.
Communication.
For us, we kind of made a rule at the beginning of our marriage, and we knew that there would be disagreements and things like that, and so what we decided early in our marriage is when we did have those moments when we disagreed and we didn't see eye to eye on something, we promised that we would never fight and put our hands on each other. We promised that we would, if we couldn't work it out, that the answer was not to leave the house or leave that person, you know, and go stay with family or friends or anything like that. We always thought that separating like that and just would open up the door to you know, a lot of things that could have been bad for our marriage, you know, because I think when you go away like that and you start to talk to other people and they put ideas in your head and stuff like that, we didn't allow that. And the other thing that was good is our parents were not in town, so we didn't have a place to go run to and hide and try to get away from each other. We had to kind of work it out.
Made us stronger.
And that made us stronger for sure.
So earlier in the interview, you both talked about how your parents showed you, or you thought your parents had a particularly good relationship. Do you know anybody else that you think might have a good relationship other than your parents?
Of course, my sisters and brothers, and I have some friends. So,
Like who specifically?
like my sister Aunt Debbie, her husband Mike, and Uncle Dennis and his wife Aunt Angie. I have a friend like Miss Katrina, her husband, Harmon. So,
What about you?
I've got a brother, Vincent, and Linnell, and they have a good relationship. They've lasted through the test of time. I've got a sister, Demetra, like Ruffin, her husband. They've had some rough times, but they've stuck in there and continue to love each other and push through the rough times. And so, you know, I've got friends that have made it over the years and continue to stay married and stay focused in their relationship. So we've got some positive people around us that help us get through. Because we share things, you have a rough patch and you talk to someone that's close to you, a brother or sister, and they might be able to help you kind of work through some of those things. So that's good.
Who do you know that has had a bad relationship?
Wow, I would say my sister Marilyn and her husband Joe Dumas. They got divorced, and my brother Larry and his wife. Wives. He's been married like 3 times, so they had a terrible marriage, so they ended up in divorce.
So those are the people that you believe, or those are people that you know for sure that didn't have a good relationship.
Yeah.
Do they have one now?
Well, my sister Marilyn, not yet. She's not married. My brother Larry again has married again for the 4th time now. So hopefully this one will work out.
What about you, Mr. Carrick?
What was the question?
Who do you know? Do you know anyone that's had a bad relationship?
Oh yeah.
That's one of their bad.
I've got friends that have had bad relationships. A brother that went through a bad relationship. He wasn't married, but he was engaged and the relationship didn't work out. So yeah, I'm quite a few people.
What are the difference about the two relationships? About the good relationship and the bad one? What's the difference?
Well, the good ones are that you're happy, you're content, you're some of those things. You just love life, and you just love your family. You want to live life like it's your last. And the bad is that the bad is kind of like it kind of bring you down. You lose your you kind of lose yourself in a bad relationship because you kind of forget who you are, and you stop focusing on the family or yourself, or you just it's bad relationship is what it is, bad, and that's why you got out of it.
What's your difference on a good relationship and a bad relationship?
Good relationships, I think, are good because people tend to work out the differences. You have to be compromising. You have to be what?
Oh no, continue.
You have to be compromising, understanding, and know that things are not going to always be perfect. And I think when you understand that and you're realistic, you can work through some of those differences and build a good relationship. As far as the bad ones, it's all the opposite of that. They don't communicate well. They don't have the same goals. And they give up. They give up when there's a rough spot or a rough patch in the marriage. They tend to give up and move away from each other, and That's why I think a lot of the bad relationships struggle.
How would you compare your own relationship to each of these couples that y'all just described? How would you compare?
Uh, Compared to the good relationships or the bad ones?
Both.
Well, it's
Start with the good.
the good ones. Uh, I would say like all the good ones, they had a good communication. You know, they talked things out. They
Yeah, to work things out. I mean, you're still married. Um, you know, you your faith is very strong. You know, so we'll say like faith, spiritual, still being married, um, being a happy couple, just doing things, communicating, um, and that's the good side of it, right? And the opposite of the bad, I mean, we're not divorced, so we're still together, going on 20 years strong.
All right, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett, for taking time out of your busy schedule and doing an interview with me.
Thank you,
You're
Kayla
welcome.
Garrett. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, looking back over the years, what moment stands out as the really good times of your relationship?
Um, Watching our first child graduate high school was a great moment. Um, when you think about the later years, but all the little things along the way. You know, the kids learning to walk, and and getting our first house, and first day of schools, and all that stuff like that was good. Graduations.
Yeah, all that.
What is a good time like for y'all? So when y'all get together, what's like a good time? Like,
Well,
what do y'all
good
like to do
time is just
that makes it
me and
fun?
Dad getting away from you all, the kids, and just having like a date night and going to the movies or just going out and get something to eat. And so me and him can just catch up with what's going on with each other. So I mean, I think so. What do you?
Yep, I agree. It's the little things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's always important.
Like many couples say that their relationship goes through ups and downs. Do you agree with this statement?
Of
Would
course,
you say it's true?
it's true because when you first married, you get married, you learn one another, you